All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Michael Burrows.
This is Jeff Bailey, and we're Transcendental Waves.
All right, today we're going to talk about why is it so hard for people to wake up? And by wake up, I'm kind of referring to opening their third eye. Uh, Jeff, what do you think of when someone says, "Hey, have you had your awakening yet?" Or "Hey, man, are you woke up yet?"
The whole term woke, I feel like, has kind of been hijacked, but deep down, I think, to me, it's where you kind of see yourself as one with everything. Um, you are God, and you are the creator and the created at the same time. Like,
Okay, so it's kind of like a mystical experience, a union with God, you becoming one. Is that how you see
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay, and you're waking up to that realization.
right.
Okay, cool. I can get on board with that. And to me, waking up to, and I agree that term has been hijacked so bad, and it's just the woke culture now is not really what it's mean to be
No, it's more
awake.
about arguing with each other and complaining about stuff instead of
Just
figuring out
living. And to me, when awakening to me was, I guess, awakening to my true self, which is that oneness. And I guess I really didn't find myself until I was like 30 years old, 33 years old. That's when I really consider myself waking up. What about you? How old were you when you consider yourself like, bam, there it is?
I mean, I guess we've had this discussion a few times, but like I still feel like it's a constant progress. I'm constantly waking up and figuring out ways to become more accepting of others. Like I know that we're supposed to be, and I've been trying to do that. I don't know, since probably early 20s is when I realized that like we are all connected and we're all one big organism. Now, how I fit into it and all that, like I've been trying to wake up to more and more, I guess, every day.
That's cool. I mean, when in my 20s, I was not oneness. I was dualism. It's like, hey, it's got to be this way. It is only this way. Everyone else is wrong. All this dogma that I was in my life, I was still entwined in all that.
Yeah, man. I think that is you say we're going to talk about why it's hard to wake up, but I think that is the main reason is there's a lot of dogma, people stuck in tradition type situations where it's just you don't want to believe that everything you've been told is a lie, so it's just like it's easier to just keep perpetuating the lie than it is to like wake up to that kind of stuff. So even when you're starting to see the clues, you would rather just like push them to the side as long as you can. Most people have to have like an abrupt change in life or something happen to where they have to face the consequences type moment and be like, "Yep, life is not what I've been creating it to be." Like,
Right? Life is not what I've been told it was. And then you got to go kind of find your own life. Um, Dude, it's like we're trapped in systems from having to work, having to go to school, having to go to church, having to watch TV, having to go have a car, having to have a house. I mean, there's so many things we have to have insurance, phones. The rate of inflation is going so far that jobs can't keep up. People are getting more jobs just to afford the same stuff. So, where does that even leave time for them to learn about oneness?
oh, I mean, yeah, I don't know that we're meant to have a lot of time to learn about it. Um, Inflation and everything is a tricky subject right now. Definitely, it's going crazy, and I do think that people having to work and work and work themselves to death is leading to less. I don't know. I think it's leading to more people just saying kind of fuck it and like figuring out like I've got to figure out a new way, and more people will come to the conclusion that oneness is the answer. I mean, that's one thing about the whole like woke movement and all these different movements as far as like the things that end up polarizing people in the news. A lot of these movements are people realizing that shit is fucked up and we need to do something about it. It's just the energy is kind of misguided because they're, I don't know, sticking a flag in the sand and they just want to be the one at the top of the mountain telling people what to do. And I mean, at the end of the day, once we stop trying to tell each other what to do and just love each other for who they are, a lot of these different like polarizing personalities I think will start to just naturally like dissolve because people won't feel so defensive and so like I have to be this kind of way.
So they'll feel more united.
Yeah. I mean, and you'll just start seeing, I mean, I think we're already starting to see smaller and smaller communities like of oneness and togetherness and like little family farms and stuff like that having to like just like kind of buckle down and take care of themselves. And as that
Dude,
stuff starts to blossom and bloom,
farms,
yeah,
conferences, music festivals, other
yeah,
little gatherings. I mean, spiritual retreats,
yep.
the plant medicines, dude, going to other countries and stuff. I mean, all that stuff.
Once you start seeing those little communities like growing and blossoming out, like getting a little bit bigger, like that's just kind of like those. I think those places will naturally start connecting and creating new, I guess like Russell Brand says, like creating new alliances and like starting to see new fellowships,
Communities,
yeah,
yeah.
new communities develop that are more about like uplifting and creating with each other. Like I mean, instead of going to war with each other, starting to like share resources and figuring out how to make surpluses instead of scarcity. I think our like the societies we have now just like create scarcity on purpose. Like we have the
Dude,
resources to share, and
they
we're
do. I heard the other day that diamond miners will burn diamonds if they mine and find a huge quantity of them, because if they just mine them, the value will go down. Everyone's diamonds value will go down. So they just destroy them. And they're so easy just to burn. And then I fact checked all this, and it was true, and it was crazy. It's like diamonds are worth nothing, man. They'll burn in a house fire, a campfire. It's crazy.
it's nuts, dude. And the way that we're tricked into like just
Diamonds are forever.
and
It's
it's
just
one of the
one little
most
trick.
important and the most important thing you need to buy like to get into your relation to start your
Right. You
relationship.
gotta have money for a ring.
And it
What
just
bullshit is that?
and yeah, man, it is it's a crazy thing to just think that like we've been sold all these different things and like just by different little cartels, and it's like if we create our own little quote unquote what we will be called cartels and like we will be the revolutionaries because we will be the ones not participating in the system, but start creating little communities that take care of each other. I think that like there are enough people out there looking and willing to change that those over the next decade or two, we're going to start seeing those kind of places
It seems
thrive.
like there's a lot of people, especially the younger people, that are wanting to change. They're wanting to change the whole way that things moving right now, and I'm on board with that. I mean, I don't think these
Me
old
too.
systems are working.
Me either. I think we need to look for opportunities to change. Like, look for, I mean, man, I mean, we live Middle Tennessee, and I have about an hour drive to a midwife appointment right now. And on that hour drive, I see about five dead houses, and on one of them, there's something, one of them has, is this progress painted on it. And it's just like, it rings to me, it just sings to me every time about how, like, we just like, we would rather shit die and like not grow food. Like like Elon Musk says we could have like 10 times more people on the planet right now. And it's just like I believe it. Like we aren't efficient. We throw enough food away in this country to feed the entire world every day. And yes, we can argue that a lot of that's not real food because our food system's fucking terrible here, but nonetheless,
We could make it real
yeah,
food if we
yeah, we
wanted. The
wanted to. Like
resources are there.
we are. It's we choose to do this stuff, and it's like we choose to create scarcity. Is what I'm saying. I think there are systems out there that we could choose to do this better and create surpluses and have people not fighting over power, energy, water. Like those things should just be given in a society that calls itself first world at this point.
So earlier you said that like a lot of people have to have some kind of dramatic change and shift in their everyday way of life or thinking to see that the world's not what they thought there was. Uh, have you had one of those experiences? Is that what set your ball rolling when you were in your 20s, or how did you come about it?
Well, I think that's what why I had such a long, slow road is no, I like, I mean, I didn't have like leave it to beaver childhood. My parents divorced early, like, but I was fairly spoiled. Like, I never was like super hungry or like I got cool toys. I got bicycle when I was fairly young. Like, I don't remember being like needy or needing for shit. Like I had a fairly decent childhood, but like my thing was like basically not believing in the structure of society or authority very much as a kid, and always questioning a lot of that stuff for like just like why are we supposed to do this, why do we believe this, why do we just live this way in general. Like, I mean, I liked the History Channel as a kid, and I mean, I was always into math and science, so like there was a lot of questioning, and it was just a slow gradual process until like I guess, yeah, maybe, I mean, maybe I had one moment in life where I was just like, fuck this, but it was like after my last relationship, and it was mostly not even that, like, that was the moment that I found this. It was like, that was the moment I decided, like, when was the
Was that
last time?
after a relationship? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like, I was just like, well, when was the last time you were happy? And I thought back to, like, oh, when I was trying to find the truth about what makes us who we are. Is there a God? Is like how far back does history go? And like, I mean, there's a bunch of cool stuff out there that like that's what I'm saying. There was like the Anunnaki and uh, I mean the Billy Carsons and Graham Hancocks of the world that just like throughout like probably my early 20s, I'm seeing these things and I'm just like, this is some crazy shit.
When
Like,
you go and you Google like when was the oldest human discovered and like how old was it, and you see that, and then I went to a Southern Baptist church Bible study, and I asked the preacher, how old do you think the Earth is, and how long do you think man has been on this planet? And his answer was between 4 to 6,000 years, and that's really when I lost my faith in religion to keep up with science at all. It's almost like we hear of like, oh, the church was like telling people, no, the Earth is flat, it's not round, and you're like, surely they're not still doing things like that. Or like the earth, doesn't revolve around the sun revolves around the earth. We think they're not lying to us still, but they are.
yeah, and
And
it's not even that they're like they have to do that in order to like kind of like maintain authority. Like, I think that's the problem. One of the problems with religion as far as like arguing with scientific fact is it impedes like scientific progress. Just just based on the fact that they like need to be right, and that is a
it's not a oneness thing, is it?
no. And like science, true science, like kind of questions everything that says it is right to try to prove it wrong.
Right. That's
Like,
what I
it's
love about
constantly trying to
science.
prove
Yeah. It's
itself
like,
wrong.
yeah, if I ever come to a theory, I'm always like, dude, let's just make sure I can try not to prove this right. Like everything I can do. Could it be wrong? Like, dude, when I found myself too, it was under a relationship too at the end. It's like, I had my heart broken and I was like, just questioning everything about everything, and then just started reading books about everything. I read something, about like old philosophers like Pythagoras, those guys, the philosophy then, it was like a mixture of different sciences. Now it's like, oh, maybe you're a medical doctor or you're a geologist or an anthropologist. But then it was like, you were all of them.
Dude, that's the coolest. That's one of the things about Pythagoras. I was just talking about this the other night with someone about we learn about Pythagoras, and I don't even know if it's like algebra 2, geometry, what class, but we learn Pythagorean theorem, a squared b squared plus c squared, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like they don't tell you that Pythagoras had a fucking religion. Like there was
No, they
there was
don't.
a religion
Yeah,
about
had a
this
whole
dude.
mystery school. Like,
Yeah, like
yeah, and then when I learned that, I'm like, what? They didn't teach us that.
no, they don't teach you anything about that. Like, why didn't they teach you that? Oh, because it was about waking up too, and he was
But
like
how many of our
exiled because
teachers-
of this too.
How many of
Like,
our teachers even knew that?
he was like a Jesus.
Oh yeah, they persecuted him like Socrates.
Yeah, like he's one of those dudes that like he's like trying to tell people to wake up, and they just are like, you got to get the fuck out, dude. Like we like your math and your science here, but we got to get out. You're getting too many
Don't
young
you be
people.
bringing spirituality into this?
Too many young people are waking up, coming to hang out with you, man. Yeah, man, it's another cool thing. Like I was just like, that's cool. Like Pythagoras is one of those people that was like, huh. There's been people throughout time who've just been like, wake up, motherfuckers. And like now, like that's the cool thing about like today is like we have shit like this. We
Oh,
can
thank
just
God
talk
for
and,
technology.
like, it's hopefully like the more other people are seeing like, okay, this is the right thing. Like I'm not crazy. Like this is happening. There are people trying to play me like a puppet, and like if I allow them, I will just do exactly as I'm told.
Dude, and how many people do we see like Bart Ehrman and Tucker Carlson, politicians? You know, people that just straight up tell us the systems are a joke. They're not true.
They're set up to take advantage of you,
and we just think they're joking. You know, it's not that bad anymore.
No, dude, Tucker Carlson like is one of those dudes that, for me, like I was like, huh, like I'm not like this is a thing because I used to not like him at all, like because I grew up thinking I was somewhat liberal, but also like just like no, I mean I realized that I was kind of conservative in certain aspects and kind of liberal in others, and I'm just like, oh, we probably all are, and really what we all want to do is just kind of have freedom. And then you look at Tucker Carlson, who's like, yeah, I sold you the Iraq war because I thought it was the right thing to do and I was playing my team's role. And now that I realize the other team is doing the exact same thing and I look at them and I know they're lying, like, I feel disgusting, like, because I know I was lying to you. And, like, now I know that all the news is lying to you. And, like, and he's just like, I work for them and I know that they're all just telling you lies.
Dude, when I heard all that, like his last little broadcast, I was like, I can't believe they're letting Tucker say this.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to get fired. And it's crazy. Like 2 weeks later, that motherfucker was fired. But that was, yeah, I was just like, the news is full of shit. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I think this has been a good session, and I think we've had lots of fun. If you guys want to hear more about different topics, let us know what you want to talk about. We're very open-minded, and we've got a lot of knowledge, and we know how to research, and we got time to research.
Yeah, guys. We're just here to help the peaceful revolution, and the revolution starts with you guys.